Spin. Dead. 72 billion. Yep, dead. Dead. I don't even see all the numbers. 700 billion. Look at how many engines. Look at this army behind me. With teleport, it's actually really cool. Like, it feels very nice to play. Like, boom, pack dead. Feels amazing to play, actually. Boom, boss spawn. And on the boss spawn, should be the same thing. Teleport, blast, pull, get the cooldown back, and boom, dead. Billions upon billions. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Welcome to the strongest Barb build of Season 8. And I have some great news. It involves SPIN2WIN. This build is so strong and is looking so good with the new Guts Berserk Transmog. This build has done a pit 106. As of this recording, we are using the Whirlwind power with the new boss power here, Wandering Death, creating a big beam, and we are using pets here. You heard that right. We are using our Call of the Ancients to create earthquakes that we can then scale to ridiculous amounts of damage, as you have seen in the introduction. So it's insane for DPS, insanely fun, and obviously it's a SPIN2WIN build. It's the damage, unfortunately, is still not directly coming from Whirlwind, but we are still playing the Whirlwind Bleed rune here with either a sword or a polearm. A polearm is ideal, but you know the sword is the one from Guts, so this one is looking insane. 2 proc bleeding damage with the Whirlwind, which then gives us a ridiculous amount of cooldown reduction in combination with our Rage of Haragoth. So I'm going to show you the entire setup. I'm going to show you some of the clears here and what the Barb can do with all the details. There's also going to be a planner below, and this for sure, my friends, is an S-tier build. This is like next to the Mighty Throw, the best Barbarian build. This is the Whirlwind Petquake. There are multiple setups here. I'm going to be focusing on T4 bossing in this video because that's the setup I'm wearing right now. But there's also a pit version. Like I said, they did 107 already with the pit version. And there's a speed farm version here for you. And there's also a starter version without any Uber Uniques. But the great thing is, guys, even this version that I'm playing here in game right now, it only requires 1 Uber Unique. And that's the Starless guy. This is the only Uber Unique that you need. So I'm going to show you here real quick, basically, the rotation. So you see we're at Belial here in Torment 4, and we have triple shouts like in any good Barbarian builds. We have the Call of the Ancients, which gives us the Earthquakes. We have Rupture, which reduces our cooldowns because it also applies Bleed at a crazy lucky hit chance. You see 120% lucky hit chance here on our Rupture with the Fist of Fate equipped. So we have a crazy high chance to reset this Rage of Age. And yeah, the lucky hit goes above 100. So that actually means that we have a more than 60% chance to reset all our cooldowns by 1 second. And with the Whirlwind reapplied as well as trigger the DPS debuff here on the target. So this is pretty wild. And we're basically just going in here. So you want to spawn Belial. Usually you start the fight with no fury at all. So I'm not gonna do that. And then you press your rallying cry. You start spinning and you press all your buttons and boom, instantly hits the boss for like 100 billion, 50 billion there every earthquake tick. And there's plenty, beating the hardest boss in the entire game in an instant. So we'll do that just one more time again so you guys can see. Because usually you have fury from the previous fight. So you open him. You want to stack your Starless guy, so you have to spin a little bit if you already have fury at the start. But you see it's going down. You can spin, spin, spin. And then press every button, basically, as soon as he spawns. And then rupture him. Boom, he instantly dies. Not even any chance. You can do this in a 4-player party. Again, this has enough damage to clear pit 107. And you can get quite some Uber Uniques with this. And this is definitely super comfortable. You can kill all the bosses pretty easily with this combination. So basically just spam your shouts. Activate your Call of the Ancients. And what that will do, once you activate it, the key of the build here is when you read here, Korlik, so first of all, he gives you Fury, but with the Ariad's Bearing, Korlik also spawns Earthquakes. And those Earthquakes benefit from all your pet multipliers. In particular, there's this crazy boss power here called Beast Master Training that's giving you 150% X for your pets. And then it's also coming from an ultimate skill, so it also scales all your ultimate multipliers. So we have the Apologetic Furor here giving you 150x. We have obviously the Ground Storm one. We have the Summons deal 80% X damage here and more lucky hits. This one from the Ancestral Echoes can also spawn additional Call of the Ancients, additional Ancients to aid you in your fight. And you see they spawn Earthquakes. I just summon them and there's Earthquakes spawning. So, and the cooldown is already extremely low. You see how it just gets reduced like instantly. Like as we just cast this, like boom. You know, like we already like get cooldown reduction here on it. And we can basically just spam it. And once we have monsters, like it goes crazy. I'll show you on some monsters here in a bit as well. But I just want to show you like the base setup on a boss fight because that's where most people struggle. Like this cooldown goes completely crazy if I'm doing it on the target dummies because we can reset on the target dummy. Here, this is without any, you know, target. So I'll show you the setup here. So we are rocking the ugliest of Bastard. The ugly Bastard helm here, double damage for all your stuff. And also very important, while you're berserk, all your damage is converted into fire damage. And we're doing fire damage now, so we can use Incinerate Flame here, another boss power, giving us 25x multiplicative damage. So you definitely want to play Ugly Bastard. No Shaco, no air, Ugly Bastard is the best. Ideally, you want to masterwork the aggressive resistance. I just happen to hit the Wrath here, but we don't even play Wrath the Berserk, so that's pretty useless. I, at some point, want to remasterwork it, but you know, we have... this is still like a week into the season. We have no Optic Sights, so that's not going to happen. Then we have the Rage of Harrogath here. This one is needed to reduce your cooldowns. I'll show you on the target dummy in a bit. Basically spam all your buttons, so very insane. You can either masterwork the crit or the bleed damage reduction. I didn't really find that a good one, and I don't need to masterwork the crit because I already have 100% crit chance because I have like a Starless Sky with greater affix crit. But if you're missing crit chance, I recommend masterworking the crit chance because this build's pretty tanky already. However, again, I don't need it. You can't go over 100%. Then you want to play Fist of Fate. This one increases your lucky hit chance, and the lucky hit chance is needed to reset the cooldown with the Rage of Age. So very important here, lucky hit chance. And even attack speed is good because when you're spinning around, basically, like if I just spin here, I get more ticks per second when I have attack speed. So we get more lucky hits per second, like when we just have a lot of attack speed. So we want to do this, ideally, and get a lot of attack speed to then benefit for the extra lucky hits and more Ancients and more lucky hits for Rage of Age. So attack speed does not scale whirlwind damage, but it scales the proc coefficient. So you get more lucky hit procs, you get more Ancients, and you get more cooldown resets. So you want some attack speed, and you see, like, we're spinning like relatively fast. I'm just sometimes here, guys, by the way, because some people ask me how I like showcase this and get Fury. There's these new gloves. We don't play it. This is just like showcase, or you can do this before you summon the boss, right? If you're struggling with Fury, you can just do this. We'll continue here in a second. But this is just the Mighty Throw gloves that have 20 Fury per second. So before the fight starts, you can also do this. This is a very nice trick. Just have it in your inventory. It's a bit try-hard. You don't need to do this, as you saw before, but you certainly can. And then once Belial is there, you just switch and you start with full Fury, if that's a problem for you, right? And then boom, we bailed him for 100 billion. And then, like, you know, now my Fury is full and we can just do the next skill. But this is a nice little trick. If you just want to get some Fury, you can also run a Fury on hit on your boots. But I think it's not needed, and in the end you want Warcry, big damage, of course. But you can, this is like a nice little trick you can do if you just want to, because I can just equip this and I can basically just spin forever. Like you see my Fury, it goes up, it goes down, but we can basically just keep spinning. So it's pretty chill to play like this. But yeah, again, you can also get Fury per second on the boots if you really want to. But again, you don't have to do that. So then, a lucky hit here. Then we have the Ariad's Bearing. This one is very important. Corlic creates the Earthquake, and you want to have ideally cooldown reduction, but also ultimate damage, because your pets or your Earthquakes from those Ancients are considered ultimate, and you actually get this additive. Like if you have a good roll here with a GA, you can get up to like 800% additive ultimate damage. So we're scaling with the ultimates here because our Ancients, our pets, are proccing those Earthquakes. Then we're rocking Earthquake Size on the boots. I got really lucky here. This one also allows us, with more lucky hits, which is already insanely juiced by Fist of Fate, to get more lucky hit procs and to keep our berserking up all the time, basically. Very good. And then movement speed, Warcry, and again, you can have the Fury per second if you really want to. Then on the weapons, you want to masterwork triple heavy hitter. I don't have it right now, but if you happen to hit it, triple heavy hitter is good. You can run the Fury on kill for like speed versions, like when you kill enemies, you get Fury. But on the pit version, you want max life here. But I have Fury on kill because I just don't really think that high pit pushing is really something that is interesting. So we are like much focused on the quality of life here. And then Fury on kill is amazing. You can have vulnerable or crit, it doesn't matter. I think the crit damage would be a little bit better, but I didn't want to roll this one because I maybe want to do some high pits at some point. And then obviously you want to play the Earthquake one. You see we just summon our Ancients and there's an Earthquake. So we're going to get the double multiplier here. And your Earthquakes deal double damage as well. And this also applies to the Earthquakes summoned by our pets that get all the crazy multipliers. Then ideally here, this needs to be a sword. I just happened to find a mace with 2 GA. I haven't really played Barb for that long. I think my playtime is like 16 hours now. I played like 2 days basic, or 1 day, 1 full day on Barb. So ideally you want to have double sword, right? But also here heavy hitter and then overpower Earthquakes. You need 4,000 main stat to hit this Executioner's 200x multiplier. So you want to have 4,000 main stat. I usually just have a strength, a GA on the amulet, and I only have it masterwork once, and that already works. So that's pretty cool. Then the other one here is casting ultimate, 1.3x multiplier again. This also gives you 2 additional ultimate ranks, and this helps you quite a bit with the cooldown, and also it boosts the damage, of course, even further. So you get 30% X plus 2 ranks, which is about 40-45% X damage. So really good. And you're basically casting it all the time. You can see here F. It has 4 seconds cooldown baseline. So you have the buff for 8 seconds. So it's basically always up, right, when you're blasting. And when you're resetting your cooldowns with Rage of Age, it's even crazier. So this is just baseline. I'm going to show you on the target dummy in a sec. And it gets even a lot crazier. And then we have the Ancestral Echoes here. This will make it so when we spin, that there will even be more Ancients. Like, we need to hit something, right? But when we spin, we'll even get more Ancients from this one. So that's pretty juicy. And you also get your summons deal X damage, and your Earthquakes from the pets count as your summons. So you also get the damage multiplier plus the lucky hit chance, which again, we scale with the Fist of Fate. So with the Fist of Fate on, we even have a lucky hit chance of 48% on the Whirlwind. And again, here, 120% lucky hit on the Rupture. So we are proccing all this and more Ancients to proc more Earthquakes, like a ton. Then we have the Starless Sky, obviously reducing our cooldowns, reducing our resource cost and increasing our damage here. Attack speed would be nice, and crit chance would be nice. Unfortunately, I hit core skill, so you don't want that. Lucky hit chance is also cool. Again, more procs for all your stuff, so lucky hit chance also makes the enemies vulnerable with Fist of Fate, so that's how we proc our lucky hit. And we just have a ton of lucky hit, basically. Like all the lucky hit procs, so lucky hit is also really good. But I think attack speed is even slightly better to produce even more lucky hits. Then we have the Bolt's Chieftain here. Like, obviously, we have triple shouts and we need cooldown reduction. So we play this here, Bolt's Chieftain. And then I also have Call of the Ancients here. In the end, if you have a really good one, you don't even need it, because this 79%, you know, we have the cap. See, if I remove this, my cooldown is still 9 seconds, 9.5. And even if I have this ring, it's still 9.5 seconds. You only really need this Call of the Ancients roll if you don't have a GA on the area it's bearing, or if you want to masterwork the cooldown. Just make sure your Call of the Ancients is 9 seconds, and then you can use like Warcry or something, like Warcry cooldown reduction, like best in slot, like if you have everything perfect, because 75 again is the cap. Then we have the Amulet. I still have cooldown here. Ideally, I want like counter-offensive or heavy-handed here, but right now I have cooldown reduction. I just haven't found the better Amulet, so I'm playing this one. Damage to close enemies. I also think I don't need this, so definitely the Amulet is my worst piece right now. Again, I only played Barb for 16 hours. So you definitely want to replace this. I think the Planner has already like the best in slot version. Yeah, here, counter-offensive, heavy-handed, strength percent, Warcry cooldown, and Earthquake size. I think it's really cool to have the 100% Earthquake size, or at least like 90%. So I have 66 triple on the boots. and then another 40 here, and 60 plus 40, like I have like 108% size. Obviously, it's kept at 100, so I have a bit overkill. But that's basically what we're ruling, because I got some pretty good tempo rolls. If you don't have a Starless Sky, you can still play this build, guys. There's a non-Uber starter version here in the planner. You're just playing the aspect of Ancestral Charge here. Or if you're missing resources, you can also play not the Anger Management, the Berserk Fury. But I think there's another multiplayer here. This one gives only 1.4x, while Starless Sky is obviously 1.5. So Starless Sky is the best, but if you don't have it, you can play the Ancestral Charge aspect and still be good on this build. You might just struggle a bit with Fury early on, and that's why you can, like, you know, get probably like Fury per second. I think I actually rolled it here on the boots. You see here we have, or we should definitely take the no Warcry, but we should take a Fury per second here on the boots. This is going to help you a bit, especially if you're a beginning player with no Uber uniques, to maintain your resources like a bit better without Starless Sky. And that's pretty much the item setup. Expertise, guys, we are playing the weapon hand expertise. And then on Whirlwind, it's very important, and same on Rupture, you want to assign your slashing weapon. Ideally, you play Polearm if you want to play a Grandfather or the Guts sword, just because it looks good. The Polearm is clearly better. We're going to get into why in a second. But if you want to like just look great and you don't really care so much about damage, like you can do this and play with the Guts sword. However, it is mostly recommended to play a Polearm. Unfortunately, you can't transmog the Polearm into this black swordsman sword. So we just have to play a Polearm and assign everything to a Polearm. We get the Polearm expertise plus the X expertise, so Polearm equipped, X expertise in the technique slot, and the Polearm is going to give us even more lucky hit for even more procs and cooldown resets and 15x healthy damage. Plus, in our Paragon board, we also get the Executioner glyph here, which is going to give us another 15x because we wear a Polearm. So that's pretty sick, pretty good. So Polearm is definitely the best way. You just can't transmog it right? So that's a bit unfortunate, but that's how it goes. So that's the expertise slot covered. Then we talk about the skill tree. So skill tree looks like this, just 2 points to unlock. Then Whirlwind here with, again, we need the slashing weapon, so Polearm assigned. Furious Whirlwind. We have 3 points in Warpath. We'll overpower with our Paragon. We'll talk about that in a second. 3 points Imposing, 3 points Vigor. This is our Fortify, Strategic Rallying Cry. Challenging Shout with extra life. None of these runes really make sense. Max the Warcry with Power Warcry, all the Warcry supports. Then you play Aggressive Resistance. And I took 2 points in movement speed. However, if you're struggling with Fury, you can take points into Prolific Fury. So this one is going to give you a ton of Fury. However, I have enough and I just like max movement speed. Then we have No Mercy with Crit Chance, Pit Fighter, Slaying Strike. Like, these are all pretty sick. Rupture with Warrior's Rupture. So I play Rupture to reset cooldowns. This is also like good for bossing. But if you're playing speed runs, like you just want to farm T4, instead of Rupture, you can just take Ground Stomp. And what this will do, you can just Ground Stomp and get Fury, right? So this is also like a very friendly setup to start with. That's why in the starter variant and also in the speed variant, we are playing with Ground Stomp. It's just a lot easier. So if you're like struggling, or if you feel like you don't have Fury, you can just drop Rupture and take Ground Stomp. It's okay. You're going to lose some attack speed because mainly but you can gain your ultimate cooldown reduction. So Ground Stomp is pretty cool. But in the end, if you have enough Fury and you have Starless Sky and stuff, you definitely want to play the Warrior's Rupture here, giving you 40% attack speed. And this is category 2, so it goes crazy with your attack speed scaling, and then you proc even more lucky hits, right? So Rupture, very good. Fortify, counteroffensive. We max the ultimate, of course. We max heavy hitter because our earthquakes are coming from our ultimate, and our ultimate gets a 6x from heavy hitter. So this is how we have the crazy multipliers. And then we have heavy-handed here because we're playing a two-hander, another 18x, plus the unconstrained, another 60x multi. Paragon board looks like this. We are playing Wrath. We should have 100% crit chance. This is definitely what you want to aim for. See here, 100%, or 99 if I'm unbuffed. So the pre-buff, guys, we're using attack speed lucky hit. We're using Song of the Mountain to cap our armor with Soothing Spice, and then Spiral Morning, because I still need this to unlock some stuff. And with that, you need to look at your res. So all my res is kept like this. If you are struggling with resistances, you can roll resistances on one of your rings. Like one all-res roll here would help you. Or you can roll armor on your boots if you're struggling with armor. However, I have all the caps, so we just have the cap. Obviously, fire is way overkill because of the 100 on Ugly Bastard. But we are like 1% away, basically, from capping. Or we are 1% over capped, so we have all the rest, again, with all this. And we have exactly 1,000 armor when we sit on T4 here. So these are my stats here. I'm going to scroll down here a bit, and we'll talk more about the Paragon. Oh, fuck, this is the wrong one. This one. So you see here 100% crit chance, and that's why the Wrath is so good, because it basically also fixes all the Fury issue you could ever have as long as you're hitting an enemy, and obviously it gives you a lot of crit damage, which we have 100% crit chance, so we get the 3 Fury every time. Then we're rocking Decimator here, which gives us more damage when we make stuff vulnerable. Again, vulnerable is coming from Fists of Fate, and when we overpower, and the overpower here is coming from Bone Breaker. Every 12 seconds we overpower, so this is going to trigger our Decimator. It's going to be triggering our Warpath every 12 seconds. It's not ideal, but that's what we get. And it's also increasing our ultimate damage by another 10x for up to 10 seconds, up to 80x. I'm still looking into like additional ways to overpower. However, right now we only overpower once every 12 seconds and with the 3% chance. And that's going to unlock like more damage buffs. I think like key for like Superman maxing is to like proc more overpower long term, but for now every 12 seconds is going to do, guys. So Decimator, then we have Challenger here. I don't have it maxed because I don't have like all these Paragons, and it's only 10 main stat. Then on the right side here we have Force of Nature. This is the last Paragon board I attached, but I still think I'm hitting all the requirements here. Yeah, we just have 460. So that's why I'm using the Spiral Morning instead of just the main stat one. So this was 60 all instead of 100 strength. And this unlocks all the, or almost all, I don't have this one. But Earthquake duration is not that great either way. So we are rocking all these here. We are replacing the Earthquakes all the time. So we have like most of the important ones, right? Could still probably optimize a bit more. I see here Willpower. This is also something you can always do, is like you can just look for like an additional stat here where you can easy shift. For example here, right? You see here, I could shift this strength to Willpower. And like that, I can actually unlock this one. So boom. See, I lose 5 main stat, but we gain the Willpower, nothing lost. And then you just min-max a bit and see that you have like most of the requirements here for the last board. But this is the last board, so Force of Nature, big multiplier with Ira here. This one fixes all your berserking damage, big damage reduction as well. And it's going to give you the full blood rage. You want this on 1.45x. And here we have the biggest glyph, Rumble. And you see here, this one gives us 1,500% earthquake damage, plus another 35x multi. It's pretty insane, and all these strength nodes here gives 60% additive, so you definitely want to max out all the main stat here. I also have a lower Paragon variant, and then we have the Executioner here in the last board here for the Bone Breaker for extra ultimate damage, which again, the ultimate, the Ancients trigger our Earthquakes, and they are all considered pets, so all this works. And Tenacity here, Vigor, like all the good stuff basically. So you see here, I don't have all the requirements, but it's fine. Here, this one is also missing, but doesn't really matter too much. So like either make this your last board or this your last board, but this one's you definitely want all the stuff here because you have some good juice here, like that you definitely want. So that's the Paragon setup here. Again, if you are a bit lower Paragon, I have a 220 Paragon setup here. Again, the planner is below. This just doesn't max out all the glyphs, right? So this is, you see here, you have 80 points left. So this one just like takes most of the bare minimum, right? So this is just like not as crazy, but you don't really need to go as crazy. Actually, I thought there's like even another optimization here, but like, yeah, this is a 220 Paragon, no Uber Uniques. And that's pretty much the setup, guys. If you have any questions about the gear, let me know below. I'm going to show you, like, do you want to do another boss kill? Okay, let's beat this Belial guy one more time. So again, you can just use this, generate some fury before the fight if you want. This is like a bit try-hard, so you don't even have to do it, right? And then you can just switch back normal and cast all your buttons. And boom, kill him instantly. Hardest boss in the game, down. And this obviously is going to give you quite some Uber Uniques as well if you like. Or just get a Starless Sky, basically. And then I think what's also really cool, this build can spawn a lot of Ancients. I'm just going to show this to you real quick. Okay, friends, we're now at the target dummy, and I'll show you how crazy we can reset your cooldown. So if you press your shouts with enemies around, you see your Bolt's Chieftain is already active, so you already get massive reduction on the shouts. But then if we press just one Rupture, you see, boom, the cooldown gets immediately crazy. So same here goes for the Call of the Ancients. If we just press this and we keep our shouts pressed, we can do some crazy things by just pressing all the stuff, and we're gonna get some crazy numbers here. You see 200 billion. I didn't even debuff it. You wanna make sure that your beam is in there and just get all the debuffs going basically, and just keep doing the Rupture, and then you basically spin as you cast your Ancients, and you're gonna have a ton of Ancients and a ton of Earthquakes. They are 300 billion. Like, you're basically blasting and hitting this for billions and billions, and this is like ticking twice a second on every Earthquake. So you just see how fast we can reset everything basically. And the ultimate cooldown, like, watch the F. We don't even have the Marshal Glyph because we don't need it. We can just reset like fast enough, just baseline. So yeah, this is some of the crazy numbers you can expect, and they're 330 billion. And yeah, things just keep going crazier and crazier basically. So that's pretty much the rotation. Like, you just keep all your shouts pressed, you press your ultimate whenever it's ready, and then you spin. You can also like tap it. You see, when I have my ultimate down, I tap it, like, see how fast it resets? It's actually crazy. Like, now I'm not doing like any Rupture even. And like this, you can reset it like instantly and get some crazy damage multipliers. So yeah, it's a pretty fun setup. And like this, they are hitting for hundreds of billions basically. So that's pretty insane. And another cool thing that you can do is, I'm going to show this to you here in the Undercity. So the Undercity has a very special mechanic where you have these like bracers, and they reduce your cooldown even further. So in the Undercity, like, this is what you saw in the intro, we can actually do a funny stuff and like summon an entire army on this Barb. So what I like to do for Undercity, I usually switch out my runes here. So we probably want Ignitech is fine, I guess. So we're gonna take the Jar rune for Undercity. So this is the speed setup now. We take Yak's Jar. So whenever we take a cooldown, we also get teleport. So now we get the source for teleport. This is gonna be the speed version. So we use an Obduxite planner here because we always short on Obduxite on Bolt's Chieftain. So then we go in, and then I'll show you here, like, you're gonna get one of these bracers, and you can like farm this like crazy, and it's just funny, you know. That's why I want to show it to you, because you're not gonna have like basically any cooldown. So what you can do here, you basically just run. Did not put the Jar rune in correctly. Oh my god. Okay, I actually forgot to take in the Jar rune. Ah, it's fine. Okay, we don't have teleport now, guys. I didn't do the right thing. But basically, once you start doing this bracer, you see how crazy the cooldown of your Ancients gets. And then all you do is you just walk. You see, we just, like, now I would teleport, but we can just walk, and we can just shout. And all the, look at the army here. Like, we have an entire army basically following us, melting everything in its path. And we go to the next one. This is just so funny. If I just switch the rune, man, it would be even crazy. I bet we need to do one more run, guys. This is going to be a nice showcase anyway. So you see here, we just run. And the Ancients just blast everything. So you activate the bracer. Get some cooldown. Like, everything dies here. This is just T4, guys. Obviously, like, everything just instant one-shot. We don't even have to spin as much here. If we had... Okay, next run. We're going to do one more run with the teleport rune. Right? It's going to go even crazier. So you see here... Basically, just click these and just run. Like, your army is going to deal with them. Usually, we would even teleport now. If we had taken the right rune. But, next one. Okay, and here, you just summon the army, basically. You just, like, piano play your buttons. And get all the boys in. You see here, this entire army following me, man. Brrr, they kill everything. The planner is below. So here... We basically just blast as well. Everything gets reset. Usually we are way more mobile if I would have taken the right rune. But this is a live video recording, so We didn't do that. And then you take the brazier again here. And then your engines shall melt. You can get another army going. Boom, boom. Next time we're going to take teleport rune too. And the boss just melts the same way. You want to debuff him for a second. Boom, dead, basically. And then you get the Obduct Sight here. So this is usually giving you a 2000 Obduct Sight per run. It's pretty good. So here, boom. There it is, 2000. Don't mind if I do. Okay, now I'm going to take in the right rune. I kind of forgot. So we are playing now Yal Jar, and we are playing Igni Tech. The Tech rune is there to instantly stack your glyph in speedruns. But you can also play Cry if you like pulling. So right now I'm playing Tech, but again, Cry works too. But I think Tech might be a bit better. So this is the setup now. Igni. Actually, we're playing Igni Tech. We're still going to be like min-maxing a bit on this. Igni Yal Jar Igni Tech. So this is the one. Yal Jar Igni Tech. And now I'm going to show you the real build. Hopefully get some more Obduct Sight. And now we actually unlock the Sorcerer teleport ability. So you just go to the first brazier. You beat it. And then you get this crazy cooldown and you can just teleport. Look, I can like teleport all the time basically. Because whenever I press a cooldown, I get my teleport. So just blast this and then teleport. Blast this, teleport. So you just need to press your cooldowns for like a sec and then you just teleport and go. Boom. Boom. So we're just like a sorcerer that is pretending, or a barbarian pretending to be a sorcerer basically. Because we get all the teleport on our boss. So it gets pretty funny. Especially when you go like giga fast with this. So you just like run to the first brazier here, get it. You can spin a bit, debuff them. But it's not even needed to debuff them with Whirlwind because we are already so strong. Here's the next one. And just for fun, I'm going to go down here. Get this one as well. So basically playing as Teleport Barb. And this also going to be pretty nice in pit runs. Can also do a quick pit. So you just teleport around. Here, summon the army, boys. Come on, come on. Come on, boys. Go get him. Look, and then we have like the entire army here following us. Like, this is like, ironically, so much a stronger minion build than the Necromancer has ever been. You know, like, so even the Barbarian summoning build with Earthquakes and all these pet multiplayers is way stronger than the Necro summoning build, man. And that's kind of sad, though. I mean, maybe it should be a bit different for the Necro enjoyers out there. But yeah, you basically just teleport here, press your cooldowns, teleport around, go to the next one. Yeah, the poor Necros, bro. I don't know. Like, teleport, cast Shouts, teleport, cast the Ancients on the boss, and boom, boss dead. Like, you just need to make sure that you're on the boss when you cast your Ancients, because, like, the second that the first pet is summoning an Earthquake, everything immediately dies, basically. And we got another 2000 Obduct Sight. And yeah, that's pretty much the build, boys. It's pretty sick, I would say. And then we can also do a pit real quick. I mean, we don't really have to really change the setup. We could, but we don't really have to. So what I usually like to do is a pit 69. You just go like fast and then kill everything instantly. But you can also go much higher. Like I said, this build has cleared 100 and... let me actually see this build. I think it's cleared 107 now. So yeah, here the Assassin, like this guy. I can link this below as well. So you can just see here how this guy does like a 107 pit. Blast it down here and the Earthquakes are rocking. Let's go a bit forward. Oh, that's a long video. But yeah, you see here, like he just basically spins and he wins. But like high pit's kind of boring to watch, I feel, because it's basically just the same. We have unlocked 122 pit here. But obviously in 122, that's a bit high. That's like Sorcerer tier. So we're going like 69 is like a pretty cool number, I think, to do a pit run on. You're going to get a lot of efficiency here. You can do your gem ups, you can do your glyph ups, and you also get a ton of loot, and you get a good amount of obols here. So basically, like the pit is looking very similar. You basically just go on the guy, and you start your Ancients, and you blast him. And then you have teleport to move around. So here, boom. Everything just basically melts instantly. Then we get the teleport again. Go here, kill those dudes. Get here. And you can also like go, like the Whirlwind, like debuff them. Boom, go spawn Earthquake. and basically just like keep going, go fast. And this build can do like anything in the game, like very comfortable, right? It doesn't really matter, like, you know, like the activity. This can do like everything. And it's still like reasonably fast. Like obviously this is not as fast as the Rogue or the Sorc, the builds that we talk about. You see here in 1 minute, like we already have like half the pit done basically. And I think also the boss is just like immediately dead basically. He just melts, bro. Oh, there's an elite up here that I saw on the edge of the screen. So we just lock up these ones. So you just basically summon like one of the engines. And in higher pits, you're obviously going to like stack the earthquakes and you're going to summon like a few more earthquakes. But here we can just teleport over the wall. So it's like a decently like fast-paced playstyle as well with teleports. I really like to have to... Oh, we ran into a big dead end, so that's like a bit unfortunate. But this reminds me a little bit of the earthquake build that we played last season with Whirlwind. So it's pretty cool. That was like not that nice that we went into the dead end. That lost us actually like, I think about like 20 seconds. But you can just leave it as well. Like if you see like a pack in the earthquake, you can just go. Because you already know like that earthquake is going to kill like all of the dudes anyways, basically. It's just going to melt them. And then here we have the final pack. Boom. Like see, still like do like a 90-second run or something. And that was like me like running into the dead end like big time. And you see on the boss, like if you don't have your cooldown ready, you can just basically cast your Rupture and get the Earthquake one, Call of the Ancients, like on the boss and basically melt the boss. But yeah, this can do all the T4 content, and this is just a speed variant, right? In the push variant, you're actually playing with the Quax rune that spends all your resources, so it's very different. But this is not recommended if you're just starting out the build, because if you play with Quax, you're going to struggle with resource even more. And then you use the Cry rune to pull them, and you have some more DPS scaling, basically, because Quax can give you up to double damage. But yeah, my friends, that's pretty much the build. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, my friends. And let me know if you have more questions or if something was unclear in the comments. I'll maybe make an FAQ like my usual style, but I think this is already like a decently long video. There's going to be timestamps below for all of you that want to like jump to a specific topic. I hope you enjoyed, guys. The Barb Nation is strong. This is indeed an S-tier build, hitting for, I saw hits for up to almost 1 trillion if you're doing Quax. When you saw like me hitting for like 350 or something, and I don't really have that great gear. If you have good gear and then you also play Quax, you're going to see trillion damage earthquake ticks. Those tick twice a second, and then there's like multiple earthquakes of them. So pretty crazy build, guys. Enjoy, check out this Barb stuff. Everything is below. I'll see you soon. Leave a comment, and if you have some questions, let me know in the comments. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.